1 year ago in Stockholm, Sweden, I had one of the best meals of my life. And I've been thinking about this restaurant ever since then. So today, it's a year later, and I'm about to interview one of the owners to hear about this awesome establishment and how they run things so smoothly. Let's go. All right, we're here sitting at Forma with one of the owners, Filip. Filip, how are you today? Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm good. 2 days after midsummer, you know. Still a bit rough in the body, but otherwise good.
Okay, great. Well, tell me a little bit about just starting this restaurant. Now, I know Frank has told me you worked at a lot of restaurants over the years, but at what point were you like, you know what, this is it, it's time to open my own restaurant?
Well, I would say I've been doing like hospitality business, like the whole thing, since I was 13 years old. Okay. And I've been working myself up, and then I think like living in New Zealand, Australia, working there as well, and seeing different cultures and everything, and then coming back to Sweden, working a lot in Asian restaurants. I think was the next step to take it further, you know, like doing your own thing. And me and my best mate, who I'm running this place with, we like during our travels together, we were talking about what should we do when we get home. Should we do a food truck? Maybe. Or should we do a restaurant, something? But then we started working. But then this place came up, and it was like the next step in our journey towards becoming better and doing something else as well.
Right on. What were a couple of things you picked up? You said you were in Sydney, Australia, and you saw that culture. What were a couple of things you saw there that you liked, that you wanted to incorporate here?
So I think the most ideas and the inspiration was like from New Zealand, I would say. Okay. So I was working in a cocktail bar called The Bunker, and they were like really good at cocktails, and I learned a lot of stuff there.
Right on. And now you've brought that here. I know you guys have like an expansive menu with drinks, food, but what about on the other side, like working at all these restaurants and exploring? Was there anything you saw that you're like, when I open my restaurant, I am not doing things that way?
Well, I would say a happy hour.
Okay, really? No, you don't like happy hour? How come?
I think that brings the wrong crowd, I would say. Of course, like in the summer, everyone is just happy, so it doesn't matter really. Yeah. But I think overall, you should stick to still what you do best and let people come there and enjoy it. You know, I think a happy hour is the best thing to do it, but I think more you can do like a good deal on like more food and combination with something, not just drinks, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. I've never heard someone like be anti-happy hour. I like that. It's funny. Now, you said you opened the restaurant with one of your best friends.
Yeah.
How did you guys decide, like, okay, you're going to tackle this stuff, I'm going to do this stuff? How do you guys split up the responsibilities of owning the restaurant?
Well, so it's me and my best friend. Like, we know each other when we're 13 years old. And he's a chef, and I'm a bartender in the beginning.
It's a good team. Yeah.
Okay. And then it was quite simple, you know. He was doing the kitchen, I was doing the bar, and then also the floor now as well, because that's my specialty, and he's great in the kitchen. So that's why, you know, we in 2 years in a row we came into the Michelin Guide now because of great food and great service and everything, you know. Yeah. So it was quite easy decision to just pick out what we're gonna do.
I love it. And then what about Forma? Where does the name Forma come from?
So Forma means to form in English. So we were sitting before we opened the restaurant and just said different words, you know, and then form came up, which is like, okay, it's all right, you know. And then the people who made all our like the web page and everything, these good friends of ours as well. They were met in Australia actually. Okay. And they were like, well, add an A to the end. It sounds better in your mouth. Yeah. So you're saying form. Let's go to form. Let's go to Forma. Sounds better in your mouth. Yeah.
It does. Yeah. It's short, sweet, but it has it kind of rolls off a little better.
And they can work with the word as well when you talk about it, because you form something, you form an environment, you form food, an experience, everything. Yeah. So it's just easy to use the word when they talk about it as well.
Right on. And then you said you saw this opening up. Was Södermalm kind of on your radar, or was there a specific spot in Stockholm you always wanted to open a restaurant in?
Yeah, I would say like Södermalm is the area where both me and my best mate, we always hang out, like even since we were kids. Okay. Of course, Södermalm is different areas, but Hornstull, where we're at the moment, is like it's not upcoming. It's been like going up all the time, but it's like at the moment, it's loads of restaurants in the area, loads of bars. So it's more like a destination for people to go to. So you don't just go to one bar, one restaurant, because you can go here, have dinner, and you can go to the next place and have some beers or cocktails. So.
Yeah, that's good. It's all the businesses are kind of helping each other out in a way.
Yeah.
Everyone's going around.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Nice. And now it looks like we've got some delicious food here. Can you
Yeah.
kind of walk us through a few of these dishes?
Of course, of
yeah,
course.
let's see what we got.
So this is our arancini, which is from the beginning it's an Italian dish actually. So arancini is the deep fried risotto balls. So it's usually arancinis is like the leftover risotto that you make the arancinis from. So we have Madras arancini, so it's a yellow curry arancini with some leek, some Cheddar cheese. In the bottom we got some Cafe de Paris mayonnaise, and then a little bit of Parmesan on top, a grilled lemon and some lime powder. So they have a little bit of kick to them, but not too much.
Okay. This looks delicious.
Yeah,
Can I dig in real quick?
Yeah,
try a little bit? I
of course.
remember this from last year when I had the arancini. I remember it was spectacular.
But don't forget to squeeze the lemon though first.
Okay, yeah. I'll start with the lemon.
Yeah,
Let's see.
yeah. Squeeze straight over everything.
Let's get a little bit of lemon on all this. Ooh. Wonderful.
Yeah, don't forget the mayo in the bottom.
Oh, yeah. This is what I really love about Forma, is that everything is, I feel like, so carefully crafted. No ingredient is like, I don't know, left out. Like, you really think of everything, all the little details.
That's the thing, you know, because you don't just eat with your mouth, you eat with your eye as well. And everything looks amazing. Like what a guy do in the kitchen is, it's art. And because you still need to look good to taste good as well. Because the first thing you do is you see something.
Yeah.
And after that, you get to smell it.
Yeah.
And after that, you get to eat it.
Yeah. It's almost like one of the last things, you know, like you say, like it's the presentation that sells it. This was outstanding. The arancini, just as good as I remember it. You get so many different flavors. I'm so fascinated by this.
So I think this is the fourth one we had. We had a red curry one, a green curry one, and now we have a yellow curry one.
Okay.
So we're doing different curry themes at the moment.
How do you switch it up? Is it like by seasonal, like that you change the curry, or is it just like one day you could come in and it could be red curry, one day you could come in and it's yellow curry? How does that work?
No, so like the guys in the kitchen, they're always working towards new dishes and new techniques and new flavors, of course. And I think this was just the next step, you know, because we swap the whole menu depending on the season. Because in Sweden, you know, we have 4 seasons, and also in the States as well, depending on where you live, of course.
Yeah.
So you have a few things for a short period of time you can use here in Sweden. So we always try to like embrace that and use the local produced things, but also things from the countryside that you can get certain months of the year.
Gotcha.
But then of course curry doesn't grow in Sweden. But
yeah. Well, it is summer in Sweden, so what are a few things seasonally that like during the summer menu shines here in Sweden, ingredients?
On this dessert menu we have like rhubarb dessert at the moment, with like a strawberry sorbet, and then you use a curd on that, panna cotta foam, and some dried almond cake. And then at the moment also white asparagus is in season here in Sweden at the moment. So we have a white asparagus dish as well, with some ponzu, some roe, and we cure the asparagus, and then you like a umami butter on top.
The asparagus is actually white, not green?
Yeah.
Wow, I've never seen that.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
Swedish thing? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, I see some pickles. I love pickles. I don't think I had this one before. What's this one?
This is our pickles. So we pickle them ourselves with some jalapeno and stuff. And then to that is a whipped yuzu smetana.
Wow.
And then in the middle you got some kimchi honey as well.
Oh my goodness.
And then some chives on top and some gochujang.
Wow.
So you just take a pickle, dig in,
Yeah,
get
I
as
would
much
like
as
to
you can.
try this dip and see. Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yeah, you need to get like a proper bite like this.
Now, I don't usually like dip my pickles in anything, but you're teaching me something. I think I might have to start doing it.
Yeah. But usually pickles with like smetana and honey is like become a thing in Sweden. But then
That's outstanding.
we touch it up, you know, with like the kimchi honey instead. We use the yuzu smetana. You get like the sweetness from the honey, but still a kick from the kimchi. You get like the fluffy smetana with a little bit of like citrus flavor to it. And then a little bit of spice with the jalapenos from the pickles. I think it's outstanding.
It's amazing. And you mentioned like the pickles, you guys pickle yourselves. Is that kind of the theme of the restaurant, like making everything from scratch, like yourselves?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So everything, like the kitchen staff, puts down so much work. They're working long hours and they're always trying to go to the next step, you know.
Yeah, and that's the kind of thing though you can taste the difference. I think when everything is scratch made, I feel like that's the reason why people want to go to a restaurant. I don't know, because you can buy things and make it yourself at home, but when you go to a restaurant and they're really making everything from scratch, that's where you can really taste the difference. And
exactly.
because certain things, I don't know if I would particularly make this at home. This is a lot of work, you know, but you come here and you can enjoy something like that.
Yeah. I think this is perfect. You grab a beer or whatever, sit in the sun, just have pickles. Usually, you know, you have crisps.
Yeah.
Do you know they have the saltiness here as well, which is good when it's warm outside and everything.
Yeah,
it's just,
absolutely. Very refreshing.
Yeah, and it feels like a bit more healthy as well. A healthy snack.
For sure. And then this last one looks like some chicken, I think.
Exactly. So this is chicken karage.
Oh,
so it's
one of my favorites.
Korean deep fried chicken. So we marinate the chicken in yogurt and some kimchi. But then we have some more pickled cucumber, because in Sweden we love pickling stuff for everything. And there's 2 dip sauces. So you have the
oh my gosh, look at this.
The white one is called gomadare, which is a Japanese sesame yogurt.
Okay.
And then this is gochujang.
Okay.
So Korean fermented chili sauce.
Okay. Lovely.
Yeah.
I would like to try a little.
And it's all right to double dip. So
okay, great.
Use your hands. Use your hands.
Oh, appreciate it. Okay. Let's go right in there.
Yeah.
Just look at the presentation on this yogurt. I mean, that's incredible. That looks so good. Let's try this. So good. This is one thing I've tried to perfect in my own home kitchen is fried chicken. And I feel like a lot of it comes down to the marinade. You mentioned you do a yogurt marinade. Like you really have to let it sit to get like juicy, or like the meat breaks down, right? So you can get this kind of tenderness.
So you mix yogurt and kimchi, and then you mix everything together with the chicken thighs, cut up, and then let them sit for a while. And then of course you have to do that with the flour, the eggs, and then then we do corn flour instead, so they're gluten free as well. Okay,
nice. And chicken thigh, I think, is the key. I see fried chicken, chicken breast, it's just not the same. I think if you want to have proper, juicy fried chicken, you got to go chicken thigh.
Yeah.
So 100%. I like that you guys did that too.
Yeah. No, it's nice. This is like the best seller, I would think, on the menu.
This one?
Yeah. Because it's, you know, so simple.
So good.
It's still good, you know, you have quite a lot of food for the price as well. And just perfect to have like on the side, because you can eat them cold or warm. It doesn't matter.
So the menu kind of goes all over, very eclectic cultures. You have some Italian inspiration with arancini. You have obviously a lot of Asian inspired dishes. How would you explain the menu to someone who just walked into Forma and is about to sit down?
Well, I would say the menu is modern Asian food, where we mainly focus on smaller plates. So we recommend also people usually to order 2 to 3 dishes per person from the smaller plates. But then we also have 2 bigger plates, 2 main courses if you want to have something big. And then because each dish is like one dish, which means that you don't have to eat them together. But then of course some people, they do it like a tapas style, they put it in like a few of them, and some people just want to eat for themselves.
And some of these things are just so unique. Like this is the thing that stood out to me the most when I was here last year, is that and then looking at the menu again, I mean, you have like a banana miso dulce de leche ice cream. You have like laugoma oysters gratined with what is it? There was sobrasada. I'm like, you're just seeing like a mixture of stuff you don't see at every restaurant. Like, is this, how did you guys kind of come up with this? You know, is it your friend you said is the chef who's kind of just thinking of all these combinations and testing stuff?
Well, of course, everyone in the kitchen helps out, you know, because it's Anton, he's the head chef, my friend, and then you have Hugo, he's the sous chef, who's been with us since we opened. And then you have Frank in the kitchen, he's also like, they all have their parts, you know, adding, like, they have ideas, and then they try out an idea, like, okay, this didn't work, and then they look up something, okay, I want to try this.
Yeah.
How does it work with this thing? And they have so much imagination, and they're so good.
Has there been something that you tried and you're like, oh, that's not going to make the menu?
Well, I think they're more the people like, oh, we don't like this. like, can we try? No, you can't even try this.
Oh, really?
They're
Okay.
like that, you know, like they want
Yeah.
it to be perfect and really good.
They don't even want you to taste it until
No.
they have it
Yeah,
perfected.
exactly.
Okay.
Like when they're like, okay, we'll get in there, then we can try it.
Okay.
For that, they're like, no, we can put it in the trash bin.
So some of these have multiple iterations. Like I imagine it took them quite a few tries before they got the perfect chicken karaage, for example. Yeah.
And with the sauces as well, because like they just find their ways around everything, and they find new ideas and new ways to make it so beautiful and so good.
Yeah, and then you kind of touched on this, but the menu, you know, if people want to sometimes just order entrees or small plates, when we were here last year, there's an option to just do a tasting menu. So you can try pretty much everything in a smaller capacity. Is that commonplace here in Sweden, or is that something you guys just wanted to start for the restaurant based on how the food was served?
No, well, I would
How did
say
you decide
like,
on that?
because you have in like Japan, you have something called omakase. So omakase means like believe in the chef, or let the chef decide for you. Because usually when you go into a restaurant in Japan, you have to know the chef for him to serve you an omakase, because you know what you eat and what you like.
Oh, okay.
But we don't use the word omakase here, we use tasting menu instead, which is like, we have a set menu, so it's 6 servings. So it's 4 of the salty ones and 2 sweet ones, and I think that's more common thing in like Asian culture, that you have a big tasting menu, or more fine dining maybe.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think a 3-course meal is more like, you know, a more common thing. But yeah, that's something you have in different restaurants as well, not only here.
I like it. You're pretty much trusting the restaurant and the chef to be like, just give me what's good. I know I trust you guys to give me the stuff that is popular and delicious. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right
So
on.
then they update it depending on the menu, of course, because it's only dishes from our menu as well.
And then you also have a lunch menu where every day you have a different like special lunch special Monday through Friday. Now, if you're sitting there on Sunday and you're like, okay, I can only come in one day this week for lunch, which day really calls your name?
That's the thing, you know, because we update the menu each week.
Oh, okay. So every week, every day is different.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that's the thing. So we have a today's special Monday through Friday, and then we have the weekly meat of the week. We have the curry of the week, and we have the vegetarian of the week. Oh, wow. And then each weekend we change the menu. So next week you have a new today's special.
Wow, I didn't know you do it every week. That's awesome. Okay, so that's very like hyper local, like based on what you have and stuff. Okay.
Exactly, yeah. And then we have a few classics. We have our schnitzel, tonkatsu, and then we have a few snacks. But otherwise, the whole menu for the lunches we swap all the time.
Wow. Okay.
And then on weekends we do brunches.
Okay. And then I know you said the bartending and the cocktails is really your specialty.
Yeah.
What are a couple drinks that you are, I don't know, really, if you're trying to have a drink, or what's a drink that really stands out to you from the menu?
Well, I think it's one of the first one I've created was called Forest Vibe, which is like a sour-ish drink where I work with Chinese like spirit, but it's like a drink called Shaoxing, which is a Chinese wine. And then it's a sake. I use sake inside that one. And then it's a blackberry syrup and some lemons. You get like the Chinese, you get the Japanese, you get some Swedish, and then together you get like a really nice drink that, you know, you get one flavor in the beginning, and then you keep on going and you get different flavors while like you have it in your mouth.
Yeah, and these are all things that just, I imagine, years and years of bartending, you kind of know what goes good with what. You start to just think, how can I craft my own cocktails now?
Of course, but then the same there, the bar industry just keeps on evolving, you know, and you need to be in there to understand, you know, because doing like you're working with acids. You, instead of citrus, you do like a apple acid or lingonberry acid or something, instead of doing lemon juice or lime juice. And you do milk punches, and you do foams from like the siphons and like all those different things. So you need to be in there, you know. So that's why you have to go to other bars and see how they do stuff, you know, and what they are doing, what's popular, what works. Yeah.
Right on. Now, you guys, you mentioned, are now in the Michelin Guide. I think I saw 2024, and you received that honor. How does that kind of work? Is that something you're applying to, submitting, and then once you receive that, did that boost business at all? Like how did that I don't know, what did that mean to you, I guess, in a way?
Well, Michelin is, I think, it's the biggest award you can get in restaurant business. Because that's not something you ask them to come and they just come to your restaurant unannounced. You don't know when they're coming. 1 or 2 people, they try some food and everything, and then they just leave. And then if they liked what they saw and tried and everything, they will send you a whole like thing, a form to fill out. And then you send it in with photos and what you want to be inside the Michelin Guide. And then each year you have a gala, depending on where in the world you're from. And that gala was last Monday, a week ago. And we actually got in the guide this year again.
Wow.
Second
Okay,
year in a row,
2 years in
yeah.
a row. Congratulations.
Yeah.
So the first time you were just, one day you were here and you're like, wait a minute, like you got some notice that like you got submitted or entered for the Michelin Guide. Like you had no prior knowledge until receiving that notification?
No, we got an email, yeah.
Wow.
And then after that, the gala is different dates depending on the year. And in Scandinavia, they usually do all the countries at the same time. So yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's
and so I guess
amazing.
the evolution, I guess, is the hope is that you go from Michelin Guide to then receiving a Michelin star. That's like the next step, I guess.
Well, we don't want to have a star because like a star is, you have loads of rules to follow. Really? And like they have regulations and everything. And usually you have to be a smaller venue as well to be able to uphold the star as well. So we want to be the same like restaurant and do our thing. And want to stay with good stuff. But you can also get something called a Bib Gourmand, which is like you're serving star class food, but you don't have like the criteria that you have to follow the whole thing.
Gotcha.
And the food has to be value for the buck as well. Like it's gonna be good food, but still not too expensive.
Gotcha.
And I think that's the biggest achievement for us, you know, to still be able to serve great food but not be too expensive.
Yeah, because if you have to change what your formula is and what's working just for the star, it kind of takes away from what you built. You know, you don't need that, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I saw that now it's Forma recently this year you celebrated 2-year anniversary.
Yeah.
So 2 years in, when you look back on this, like what has been like, one, the most challenging part of running your own restaurant, and two, like the most rewarding part?
I think the most challenging is, you know, not challenging. It's more like, you know, you always have new things you have to learn. Like I haven't done all the things with the scheduling and all the economics that I'm doing now. Before that, I would be a bar manager. I'm doing all those kind of ordering stuff, but all the things around it that you don't think about. It takes time, you know. But also, you know, otherwise, I always enjoyed working in hospital since I've been doing it since I was 13 years old, which is 18 years now. And I love working with people, and I think that's the reward, you know, seeing people eating like dinner or lunch or just having a drink in the sun, just enjoying themselves and actually like coming up to you or the staff in the kitchen saying, wow, this was a great meal, or I love this drink, or they come back to have it again. Yeah. I think that's the reward, you know, just to see people enjoy themselves and enjoying what we create here.
Yeah, that's one thing I've always loved about food, is that food is like, to me, is like the great connector, you know, like people can eat their way through a culture and start to get to know someone. I don't know, like me, my family is Iranian, and my friends growing up, like I loved showing all my friends our different cuisine and introducing them to flavors and spices or different flavor complexities that they normally wouldn't get. And it just kind of opens your worldview, you know, to see how other people eat. You see not only the foods they eat, but how they eat, you know, the traditions around the table, that kind of thing. And you are bringing this experience to people. Like the fact that even Frank and his family and me, like we're celebrating a birthday here is like, that's a big deal that someone wants to come here to spend their birthday and eat food at your restaurant, you know, like that's an honor, I would think.
Yeah, that's amazing, you know, and it's so fun, you know, like you mentioned, like how did with Michelin and everything, like we have people from all around the world coming here because the guide is a worldwide guide. And like when I travel somewhere else, I always go in there and I look for Michelin restaurants, and then I will try out once at least when I go to different countries. And so people come here from Germany, America, Canada, we have people from Italy, Spain, France, everywhere, you know, and we had people from Australia, from across the world. Like, how did you find a restaurant? Yeah, I went into this place and I went to this guide and I saw you, and it's like, it's amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's so cool.
So it has helped the exposure, it sounds like.
It does,
for sure. More people seeing it.
Exactly.
And it's not just the food here that's spectacular, because we're sitting around looking at this, like you were kind of walking me through some of these decorations. How did you put the interior design of the restaurant together? Like how did you know, this is the style I want, this is the look I want to present?
Well, so the thing is, so me and Anton, we are running the restaurant, like with service and everything. And then we have two other guys that also are co-owners with us, and they are helping out a little bit more with these things around that we're not so familiar with. So they actually been a huge impact on that, you know, like buying nice decorations and all the interior and like everything. Like we were sitting down, you know, it took a long time to find everything, but I think they've been the biggest part of everything. And then of course, when you look at the bar and everything, like I set up the whole bar and I know how that should be, you know. That's why, you know, it's good to have your specialty with things and you can learn from other people as well. So
Yeah. Seems like everybody knows their role here, you know?
Yeah.
Like you got the food, the bar, the interior design, and I love that. It makes for a good team.
Yeah.
And I also think, too, an underrated part of a restaurant to me is always the bathroom. Sometimes you could tell a lot about a restaurant by their bathroom. And you guys have one of the nicest bathrooms I've ever seen in a restaurant. So kudos to you guys for that.
That was actually the thing we said in the beginning, like the bathroom has to be awesome.
Yeah.
Because everyone has to go to the toilet
yeah.
at one point.
And I think people will remember a bad bathroom at a good restaurant. At least I do. Maybe I'm just weird like that. But sometimes you're at a nice restaurant, I'm like, oh, this is the bathroom. You know, the paper towels aren't stocked. The sink is dirty. But you go in somewhere with like a nice mirror. It looks nice. And it just goes to the whole restaurant experience, I guess. And you guys, like, again, every detail has really mattered to you guys.
Yeah. I think that's the thing, you know. Like, if you look at the bar as well, you know, you have underneath the bar, you can hang your jackets. Yeah. You have some hooks underneath there. And then, you know, for me, an important thing in the bar is to have to rest your feet on something. That's why you have the whole thing in the bottom, so you can rest your feet as well. Because for me, that's so important when I go to a bar. I don't want my feet to be hanging there.
Yeah,
you know?
I don't like that either. Yeah.
It's just small things for me, you know, and I was like, this is important for me. So when we were designing everything, that was important for me. And then in the kitchen, Anton was like, I don't want to have this, I don't want to have this. So we were there designing everything. That's why for us, you know, it's our baby.
Yeah, that's cool because then it's become something that you love coming to yourself. Yeah. And then if other people also enjoy that, you're like, cool. Yeah. But you've built something that you like, and then other people, I imagine obviously other people appreciate the hangers and the, you know, being able to rest your foot. So I think that's the cool part, that you get to open your restaurant and be like, I'm doing things my way. You know, I want hooks, I want this. Like, you can kind of just have that creative control.
Yeah.
That must be a lot of fun.
Nice, yeah.
One thing that's I've noticed is that whenever someone opens one restaurant and it starts to go good, pretty soon after they have a new restaurant, a new concept, a new idea, and they just keep expanding. Has that thought crossed your mind already for a Forma #2, or what do you got planned in the future?
Well, we are looking at new venues. We are. It's not going to be a Forma #2. Okay. Probably going to be something else. We're still going to stay in Stockholm. But we're looking at venues all the time, and we have people looking for us as well. So we are planning and looking at new concepts, and you know, you're putting our heads together to do something more. Still going to do Forma, and this is our baby. Like I said, you know, it's the first place for me and Anton as well. And we're gonna find something else, and then hopefully people enjoy that as much as they enjoy this place as well.
Yeah, then pretty soon you become like a restaurant group where I see so many restaurants, at least like in San Francisco where I used to live, or San Diego where I live now, where I'll see like, oh, this restaurant is also owned by these people, or they own like a steakhouse, an Italian restaurant, a burger spot, and like all these things. So I think it's cool because then it would allow you to have this, you know, you said there's the Asian food and Italian influence, but then your next spot could be a pizza spot for all you know, or there are certain concepts in your head that you've thought of that you wanted to open.
Yeah, of course. Like I said, like when we were traveling, we were looking at food trucks. Yeah. It was like our first thing, you know. Should we do a food truck with fish and chips? I think we were talking about. It was like the first idea, and then we just kept on going, and then now we've been working with Asian food since 2018 on different restaurants and bars and stuff, which is like, for us, it was natural to open our Asian restaurant then, with of course influence from all around the world, but it's not just classic Asian, you know. Yeah,
right on. Yeah, that was awesome. And then last question: what was your reaction last year when you heard Forma name dropped in the song "Ain't No Summer Like a Swedish Summer"? Did you hear that?
No.
Oh man, we got to play this for him. So Frank and I made a song last year after kind of conceptualized at this very table. It's just a song about my trip to Sweden, and Forma got a mention. So
really?
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Silly, but
I haven't heard this.
Well, hopefully the first of many song mentions. You know what I mean?
I hope so too.
All right. Well, Filip's got some work to do, and it looks like lunch has just arrived. So we're gonna get busy with eating, and thanks everybody for watching. Well, not only an amazing meal, but a fantastic conversation with Filip. I love Forma, and I'm gonna be here every single time I visit Stockholm, Sweden, and I think you should as well. Oh my gosh, this looks outstanding. Salmon, it looks like, with some potato and
carrots, a black radish.
Ooh, oh my goodness.
It's today's special.
Okay, great.
So usually on Mondays and Wednesday we do like fish.
Okay, right on.
Yeah.
Awesome.